Welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. On yesterday's episode, we did a hypothetical video on what if Pokemon is purposely keeping prices artificially low and they're purposely not printing to meet demand in order to keep a high secondary market prices for a lot of their products, which would thus in turn make people want to buy more at MSRP. So on today's video, we're just going to do a complete 180. We're going to do the complete opposite. We're going to do today's hypothetical video of what happens when Pokemon just prints enough modern product to absolute oblivion, destroys the market, and floods so many cards that it makes people's head spins. So that's what today's video is just going to be on, that hypothetical. I think it's very important to look at topics like this from all angles because at the end of the day, when you do hypothetical videos, a lot of people want to take what you're saying as the fact or as the truth. But at the end of the day, that's all they are. They're speculation type videos. A lot of the hypotheticals is based off of zero fact. And when I do a hypothetical on Pokemon artificially keeping demand high by keeping print runs very low, that is completely speculative, completely hypothetical. There's no proof to back it up. And at the other side, to say that Pokemon is going to print like a crazy amount also has a ton of speculation to it. And it has a ton of speculation when you look at the history of the product. So we're going to try to do our best to debate both sides. And in today's video, we're going to debate that Pokemon's going to print a ton of modern product. And, you know, the big argument you have to make for Pokemon to really want to print a ton of product is because, yes, they do care about the collector. I think they even do care a little bit about the investor. Of course, obviously, they care about the TCG, and they definitely care about the player. But Pokemon also has a lot of obligations to a lot of their clients because at the end of the day, yes, we are the end consumer, but we're not really Pokemon's main client because Pokemon doesn't have a direct-to-consumer type model. They have to give their product to distributors, then the distributor, then allocates it out to different people. But you got to keep in mind, you got a lot of really big clients like Walmart and Target. These guys right now are pissed about the trading card game. I don't know if they're really upset at Pokemon or if they're more worried or angry at like the end consumer. There's always like the one video everybody sees, like the scalpers having brawls in the middle of the aisle. If you guys have ever been to a Walmart or Target, usually the Pokemon aisle is pretty bare. It's pretty empty. I haven't seen any like fights going on, but I do believe that that's definitely happening probably in some real isolated areas. So you got to keep in mind, if even in an isolated situation, the isolated situations get the most attention. So it looks really bad for Walmart when you have people coming in, especially like the scalper type mentality people that are getting mad. They're yelling at the distributor that are stocking the shelves. You got people, making a lot of complaints saying, oh, well, distributors are not actually putting product on their shelves. They're secretly taking that product, going to the checkout and buying it for themselves because then they could flip it on the secondary market. There's like all this stuff. And you got to keep in mind, whether any of this stuff is true or not, it's being said. So Pokemon, headquarters and Pokemon corporate and the management team all the way down to local stores, everybody's hearing about this because there's a lot of people making complaints. So when you have your major clients like a Walmart, who you can say what you want right now for 2020, 2021. Sure, the market's been super hot and tons of people are applying for license with distributors and they want to sell product. But at the end of the day, the people really helping keeping Pokemon afloat for the last 10 years has been the Walmarts and those big box retails that have constantly had product on the shelves for years and years and years. So for, the market to piss off Walmart so much, that could have a lot of effect where Pokemon is going to have to say, we really have to ramp up production to meet the needs of our clientele. And if to meet the needs of their clientele means that they have to absolutely flood the market with cards and to absolutely destroy the secondary market. Because if you could produce enough cards and really flood the market with a constant supply of modern product, the secondary market for modern will not be able to exist. And it especially will not be able to exist in the way that we're seeing it, where you can literally go into a store, pick up a Hidden Fates ETB. If you're really lucky, keep in mind Hidden Fates is definitely the hardest to pick up. But if you can pick up a Hidden Fates ETB at $49.99 and instantly go home and sell it for $120 to $150, if that market doesn't exist, there's no incentive for a lot of these scalpers to be camping out in front of Walmarts and in front of Targets and being there at 7 a.m. when the doors are open and standing in front of the card aisle waiting for the distributors to come stock the shelves. A lot of these people are doing this because of the secondary market value. I don't think that it's all I don't think there's a lot of collectors really standing in the line. And one of the reasons I believe that is because I think the true collectors and the true investors have a lot of ability to just wait out this stuff. Or they have other options and other avenues that they can go in order to get products. And yeah, a lot of the average collector has had to adapt a lot recently. Me being one of them. I'll tell you guys right now, with 100% transparency and honesty, before 2020, I had no clue when the distributors came into a lot of my local stores and stocked shelves. I had no clue. The only thing I was aware of was release dates for products. Even then, I wasn't in a mad rush to go on the day of release to get product. But now, a lot of that has changed. I do understand what days, like my Walmarts get stocked with Pokemon. I have to work during the day. I'm never there for it, but I at least am aware of what days the shelves now get stocked and what day the people come. And I'm more aware that if I do want to get modern product, I really have to be there on the day of release, because if you're not, you're going to miss out. And I know a lot of people out there say, well, you got to be there on day of release, but also like the big box retail, Walmart and stuff, forever they used to put product on the shelves before release date. That was never like a new thing, but there's a lot of people out there saying that's not true. But anyways, we're going off on a little tangent. Let's get back to, the meat of this conversation. The whole reason we're doing it is that Pokemon is going to just print a ton of product. But the problem is I'm afraid that there's a lot of people out there that are newer to the hobby and they've really only seen Pokemon with bare shelves in all the stores. Listen, historically for the hobby, there was a ton of product available, and that's why I get super scared for anybody out there who's spending like $1,000 on Evolution's booster boxes. Guys, I don't know this for 100% fact, but if you ask me my honest opinion, Evolutions, there is a ton of product out there. I don't know why more of it doesn't hit the market and people aren't trying to capitalize on these $1,000 booster boxes. But guys, trust me, there is a freaking ton of Evolutions out there. And the fact that Evolutions is still in like a lot of products you can buy occasionally, like once in a while you'll come across tins and collection boxes that still have Evolutions packs in it. The prices Evolutions is demanding for still being relatively available, on the single pack, of course you got to buy tins and stuff, but for these prices for Evolutions is not a like small produced set. It's arguably the most produced set of all time. And if you ask my personal opinion, I'm going to tell you it is the most produced set of all time. And a lot of people, I can't tell you for a fact, again, I don't know true print runs. But even if you go all the way back in time to like 99, people say there was 8 print runs for base set. And even base set, wasn't really able to meet demand back then, because the demand really went right into jungle and right into, it tailed off a little bit into fossil and then tailed off a little bit again in the Team Rocket. But there was 8 print runs of base set in 99. And there's a lot of, unlimited base set on the market. So you can just go on eBay, you probably see thousands of listings. Guys, Evolutions probably blew that print run out the water. There is so much Evolutions going on the market right now. And what's really scary too when it comes to Evolutions is a lot of the big money to be made in Evolutions was in the graded market. And obviously most people understand how backed up PSA was. A lot of those cards went to PSA. And a lot of those cards will eventually hit the market. And when all these evolution style cards hit the market, you will potentially see a huge drop in the price of sealed product because the realized gain in that box will drop in tandem with graded card prices. And then Evolutions really, really shitty freaking print runs. Tons of print lines on all those cards. It's very hard to get good PSA 10s for Evolutions, which makes it even scarier when you look at the pop reports for Evolutions and you actually see how many PSA 10s exist. There's a lot. That makes it even scarier. And keep that in mind. It's scary because of how hard it is to get PSA 10s. So when you see a lot of PSA 10s on a set that's extremely hard to grade, it just means that the supply of that set is absolutely insane. So if you want to say, okay, Pokemon has the ability to print the shit out of Evolutions, what's stopping them from printing the shit out of like Vivid Voltage and Shining Fates? Hell, let's keep printing Hidden Fates, which they're already doing. Chillin' Reigns, the Eevee Hero set, the 25th anniversary set. What's stopping Pokemon from just printing this stuff until it just crashes? But this is the key word when you keep in mind Pokemon printing to max demand. For prices of modern prices to crash, for a lot of people, a crash just means that modern product is selling at MSRP. Yeah, you got to take a step back and think about, what did I just say? A crash of modern product is product selling at MSRP, meaning Vivid Voltage right now, you could probably look and find booster boxes, I don't know, between $200 and $250. If Vivid Voltage prices crashed to like $144 a box, or potentially all the way down to $90 a box, which probably unlikely at this point, but let's just say it does. That is still the price point that Pokemon Company sells their product at. So they do not care if prices drop to MSRP because that's the price they're selling their product at anyways. Now the question is, well, what happens because the secondary market for a lot of this product helps to, increase the demand for this product. And I talked about this in yesterday's video. If the realized gain in opening product is higher than the price you're paying at MSRP, it's going to give people way more incentive to open the product. But if you have a ton of product on the market and Pokemon is just, pumping out as much as they can, and you got to keep in mind, Pokemon also has the ability to not just print a ton of product, they also have the ability to really determine pull rates. Yeah, we assume pull rates are a certain number for certain sets, like most recent set that's currently on the market, Battle Styles. The reverse art Tranitar, awesome artwork, extremely hard to pull. Numbers for that's all over the place. Pretty much look at any set that has a Charizard. If Pokemon really wanted to, they can not just destroy the market with a huge reprint of stuff, but they have the ability to just change up the pull rates. And they can make the pull rates whatever the hell they want. And if they want to make it where the expected rate of pulling Charizards is, 1 per 36 packs or some crazy low number that we haven't seen since borderline base set. But just think about it. If Pokemon wanted to move around numbers, they have the ability to do all this stuff. If Pokemon just says, fuck it, we're going to print so much modern product that we're going to drown everybody in it, Because at the end of the day, if Pokemon does really just care about like the TCG aspect and the player side, by printing a ton of this product, it's going to just give tons of good cards to all the people out there looking to build competitive decks. And when you think about like the TCG and the competitive aspect, right now, with how hard demand has been, or how strong demand has been and how hard it is to get product, a lot of people have been struggling to put together competitive decks of decks that they've pulled. And we've talked about this again in yesterday's video. There's a lot of options out there. You got your TCG players and your eBays. It's not hard to build a competitive deck because the cards are out there if you wanted. It would just be much harder to pull those cards yourself to try to build the deck you want. So if Pokemon wants to just make that a lot easier, they would have more incentive to print modern product to a crazy amount. And the thing you got to keep in mind too when it comes to printing a ton of modern product is there's no timeline for modern. Yeah, we like to have the conversation and speculate when prints or when cards are going to really go out of print. Yeah, you can look at rotations, you can look at stuff like this. At the end of the day, Pokemon can go back in time as far as they want and reprint stuff. Yeah, you can make tons of arguments at different like huge barriers or huge stop points where they're going to go back and reprint stuff. But you can go back and you say, well, in a hypothetical situation, again, fucking hypotheticals, people hate hypotheticals. But how far can you honestly go back? Can you go back to Sun and Moon? Sure, easy. Can you go back to XY? Yeah, why not? We still see XY packs in random products. I don't know why freaking Family Dollar always has XY packs on the shelves when they do have product. I've seen more Steam Siege lately than I've seen anything else. Why can't they go back and print like XY base set and shit they want? XY base set's like $1,300 a booster box, or no, I think it's even more than that. What is it, like $2,500 or whatever? It's a stupid high amount. Who says they can't stop and even go back and do black and white? Let's go back to Diamond and Pearl. You know, in a hypothetical situation, can they do that? Yeah, why not? I guess. It's not like Pokemon retire sets or anything. They do have the ability to go back. Do I see them going back to black and white? No. Do I see them going back to Diamond and Pearl? Hell no. Do I see them going back to XY? Probably not. Do I see them going back to Sun and Moon? Even that's a probably not. Like I said, even like the 5 most recent Sun and Moon sets, I don't see that as really being a strong possibility. But if Pokemon wanted to, sure, they can go back and they could print a ton of stuff. And if the argument is, well, by printing a ton of super modern product, you know, Pokemon's not going to do this because they want to keep a high demand. Guys, I've literally just said it. They can keep a high demand by printing sets that are in high demand. Like I said, if Pokemon decides to do a massive reprint of Cosmic Eclipse, I did it again. I talked about Cosmic Eclipse in a video. But if they decide to reprint Cosmic Eclipse, I'm going to let you know right now. The demand for that product would be astronomical. If they want to do all, you know, if they go back and do like Ultra Prism and stuff, you know, sets that people have been wanting like big reprints and they never really got them. You know, go back to any of the Sun and Moon stuff. You could reprint a ton of this shit. Just reprint ETBs for all those Sun and Moon sets until they go out of style. Go back and just freaking reprint ETBs of Vivid Voltage. Look at how much Vivid Voltage ETBs are sold for, like $100 on the secondary market. Those things are $39.99 at MSRP for a set that was released in November. Here we are in May. It's only been 5 months and we've already seen like a twofold, actually a little bit over a twofold increase in the price of ETBs for freaking Vivid Voltage. Freaking Pokemon can do whatever they want. They can print until the machines melt because they overheat so much. That's the ability they have. And you know what? A lot of these sets, you know, look at the very first print run of freaking Shining Fates. The print quality was terrible, especially the baby Shinings. How much silvering stuff was going on in the edges. That's why it's hard to get PSA 10s too, just because the centering alone. The English version of cards, especially when it comes to mass-produced sets, the quality is never good, like compared to Japanese counterparts, which I've never really understood the full reason behind that. Why Japanese cards you normally do have such better print quality. I really don't know the answer to that. Maybe somebody out there does know, like a definitive concrete answer, and you can let me know down in the comments, but I've never actually understood that. It's just been pretty much the way forever. I mean, keep in mind actually some of these older e-reader sets, like the Last of the Wizard or the Coast sets, the print quality on those cards are freaking awesome. So it's not that English can't have good print quality if they want. It's just for whatever reason they're not. And maybe a lot of that is just because the printers are just going 24/7 and printing these cards into oblivion. What's a real incentive for Pokemon to reprint Modern into oblivion? Is because it's the next generation of collectors. That's who they need to worry about. You want to talk about the future, you want to talk about the long-term growth, you want to talk about Pokemon lasting for the next 25 years and go on to 100 years, and the sky's the limit. And I've already said it before, Pokemon's going to outlive me, and it's definitely going to outlive you, and it's going to go on forever. But a huge stepping stone and a huge building block for that continued growth in the hobby to continue the go is you need to get these cards into the hands of the new generation. And the new generation needs to be able to open packs and not be worried that if they pull like a crazy expensive card that they're not even allowed to touch it or look at it or play with it, because their dad's going to come running into the room with a penny sleeve and he's going to put that card in a penny sleeve. Then he's going to sprint to a top loader and throw it in a top loader, and the kid's never going to be allowed to play with it. You can't have that stuff happen in order for the growth of the hobby to continue. So, maybe Pokemon has the incentive there to just print this product, so much of it that it drops the prices back to MSRP, and store shelves are constantly stocked. So when you got little Timmy coming in with his dad and he's got his snot nose running and he's picking his nose, he could get the cards. Because you know what, guys? I remember being that little snot nosed kid picking my nose at the Toys R Us counter asking my mom to buy me those packs. And because I was that little snot-nosed kid and my mom bought me that pack of base set or jungle or fossil, she helped create and lead plant the seeds of where I am right now in this hobby. And if I were to go back and subtract my childhood when I was that snot-nosed kid, if I subtracted my childhood and all the experience I had with Pokemon then, I could tell you right now I wouldn't be in this hobby, because a huge part of this hobby is that nostalgia factor, is going back and remembering cards, remembering sets. I get the same feeling opening a modern product today, whether it's Battle Styles or hopefully Chillin' Reigns is coming out soon, or Shining Fates, or opening a Hidden Fates. Why was Hidden Fates so popular? Hidden Fates was so popular because it was such a nostalgic factor for a lot of people. All those, beautiful Gen 1 Pokemon cards in there. Why do we see a lot of people maybe going back to evolutions? Is because they're chasing after that, like, nostalgia factor of their childhood and trying to relive the original base set, because the original base set prices have just creeped up to such a dollar amount that it's not really, sensible to go and open up a couple packs. If you want to open up one pack of, Shadowless, Unlimited, or First Edition base set, it's going to cost you a lot of money, and you're definitely not going to be able to go out and start ripping entire booster boxes of it. So, like I said, Pokemon, maybe they're going to reprint to keep this younger generation involved, because I'm a strong believer is the hobby does not grow if you cut out this generation of kids trying to get product. And we don't even know what the long-term effects of this is. Maybe there's a lot of kids out there that would have been, like me or like you in their future, but because they weren't able to get product in 2020 or 2021, their most important childhood Pokemon years, maybe that generation won't be there in 25 years. And not because they wouldn't have been if they had the opportunity, but because they won't be there just because they didn't get the opportunity. And it's scary. And maybe Pokemon realizes that. And that's why they're going to print modern for an infinity amount. But like I said, guys, I do my best to debate both sides. We had yesterday's video where we strictly had the hypothetical that Pokemon is artificially keeping demand low in order to keep secondary market prices high, in order for people to want to pick up a tons of product at MSRP and clear out shelves. Today, we did the opposite. We talked why is Pokemon have no reason to do that? Why are they just going to print modern into oblivion? Why are they going to destroy the market? Why is there going to be a huge flood of modern product on the shelves? And listen, I do my best to give both sides. I don't know if you guys even know what side I'm on at the end of the day. And if you can't tell which side I'm on, I'm doing my job. And that's what I try to do. And I'll tell you again at the end of the video, I don't have all these answers. All this is speculations. It's a lot of hypotheticals. I'm basing it off of just like having a conversation. But listen, guys, probably the most important thing I could say right now. If you somehow made it to this part of the video and you're not subscribed, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. Other than that, hit the like button or hit the dislike button. Either way, I'll catch you guys on the next video.